Hello and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Andrea. I have been an Etsy seller for 8 years and it is my full-time job. And so this channel is just where I share all the things I've learned in the past and am currently learning about Etsy. So that is what we talk about around here: small business, Etsy, all of the good fun things. So today we are going to be talking about 8 things that I have learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years. So 8 little tidbits of advice that I have learned and all of that fun stuff. So diving right into today's video, 8 things I've learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years. Okay, diving right in, number 1, the first thing I've learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years is that setting goals is so important. So I think that this is something that I did not really give that much importance to or really think that much about whenever I started out. But now as I am further along into my business, I've definitely realized that having a goal and setting goals for your business is so important. I am definitely the type of person who likes to work on one thing at a time. I call myself like a project worker. I'm really good at dedicating a bunch of time to one thing and then hitting okay, did that, and then moving on to the next project. I'm not as good at doing like consistent work. Obviously that's really important. So I have to find a way to make that work with my Etsy shop for productivity wise, but my personality leans toward project work. And so having a goal specifically is really good for me because I always know what I am working towards for that particular month, quarter, year, whatever the goal is. So setting goals is definitely really, really important. And that is the first thing that I have learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years. The second thing I have learned is to not panic. I think that this is something that takes a long time to learn just because it takes proving over and over again that whatever I was worried about or whatever you might be worried about will not be the end of your shop. I think that there were times when I was like either burnt out and I was like, I hate this job, I hate everything about it, so I'm giving up. And then it turns out it was just busy season and I need to learn how to do that. Or I was seeing slower sales and I was like, this will never work. It's the end of my business. It turns out I just needed to tweak some stuff. So I think that the second thing that I have learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years is that stuff is never as big of a deal as I think it will be, and I should not panic. Sales always fluctuate, strategies always change, the amount of time I'm able to dedicate changes throughout the past 8 years. All of those things have changed, and so definitely the second thing is to not panic. And if you're in a season where you're feeling like your Etsy shop might be the end of you or it might be the end of the shop, that might be encouraging to you that stuff always changes. Again, you will need to take the action in order to make that change, which is you can't just expect it to change on its own. But definitely don't panic and do something rash. Don't do that. Definitely just stay the course, keep doing all the things. Don't panic when it comes to your Etsy shop. The third thing I've learned is that it is okay, it is important to, and it is 100% encouraged to have fun with your business. I fell into, and a lot of sellers do fall into, like, this is my business, this is important, this is like meant to be taken very seriously and it's all business, and that's good. Of course, obviously you need to set goals, you need to do all those things, and I encourage those things, but also it is so important to just have fun with your business. If you do not have fun with your business and you don't try new things that make you excited and I don't know, like paint your shop pink or something like that, like if you don't do those things, you will get burnt out by your business and then you are not having fun, which is not the goal. And like, obviously as an Etsy seller, I always think the goal is to make like income freedom and to enjoy your craft and all of those things. And so I definitely want you to be able to do that. And the only way to do that is to have fun with your business. So not only is it allowed, I believe that it is also important and encouraged. So that is something, the third thing that I learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years is that it is a good thing to have fun with your business, have fun with it. The fourth thing I've learned is that nothing is as scary as it seems. So this is for the people who are currently putting off doing something in their shop because it seems overwhelming. So if you are putting off even starting your shop because you're like, I just don't know how to ship stuff, I'm just so overwhelmed by shipping, or you are putting off implementing a keyword strategy because it's just too overwhelming, you don't know anything about it, this is for you. It's not as scary as it seems, and you will not feel comfortable doing it. It's a good thing to feel uncomfortable, but it's just uncomfortable. It's not life-threatening. Your shop isn't going to end. So yeah, it's not as scary as it seems. I definitely recommend just starting the thing that you are so scared of, and you will find out that it's probably not as complicated as it seems. You probably are filling in gaps with like basically what you don't know about the product. You're filling it in and saying, oh, I bet it's way more complicated than I can even accomplish. And that is not true. If there are thousands of other sellers doing it, so can you. Nothing is as scary or as complicated as it seems. So that is the fourth thing I've learned. The fifth thing I have learned is that customer service matters a lot. I think that this is something I didn't want to learn, something that I wanted to put off, and I think something that a lot of people say like, well, it's my way or the highway. Like, you know, if your customers, they don't want to like cater to their customers, which I definitely think that there is a boundary to be set and that shop policies are a very good thing, but customer service matters a lot, and that answering combos quickly matters, and sending the extra thing just to double check on their order matters a lot. A lot of our 5-star reviews, most of the most common feedback that we hear in our shop is that they have amazing customer service, and that is something that we tried to strategically implement, and it definitely paid off, and I was definitely learned that matters a lot more than I ever gave it credit to. So customer service is very important. That is the fifth thing I've learned in the past 8 years on Etsy. The sixth thing I've learned is that while it is very important to have fun with your business, it is also important to treat it like a business. So that means keeping books and making data-driven decisions whenever necessary, like making sure that you're tracking all your finances and setting goals and all of those sorts of things, implementing systems so that you can hire people. Very important to treat your business like a business because it is a serious business, and ultimately that will be fun and fulfilling for you because running a business is fun and fulfilling. And so don't just treat it like a hobby, definitely treat it like a business. That is the sixth thing I have learned from selling on Etsy for the past 8 years. Piggybacking right off of the sixth thing is the seventh thing, which is to know your numbers. And basically that is what I mean by that is your profit and loss, and specifically your profit and loss for each item individually. I think it's really important to track your numbers on the item level, the overall level, and really track expenses in your shop just so you can know your numbers. My dad always says that if you don't know your numbers, you'll make them up, and either way that is bad. So making them up in your head, he means like in your head mentally you'll get an idea of what you're making, and if you think you're making way more than you actually are, you'll overspend, which is bad, and if you think you're making way less, you'll give up, which is bad. So you want to know your numbers. The eighth thing is something that if you follow me for any amount of time, you will not be shocked to hear. It is that Etsy SEO matters a ton. If you have hung out around here at all, you are not shocked to hear me say that. I talk about Etsy SEO a lot, and it's because it made a huge impact on my shop. So if you were like me, stop, like I used to be, not like me now, like I was before I implemented an SEO strategy, stop avoiding it. It is not that complicated. Stop avoiding it. An SEO strategy for Etsy, an Etsy SEO strategy will do more for your shop than any Instagram strategy ever will. So definitely don't put that off anymore if you're like me and you're putting it off. Etsy SEO matters a lot. So those are the 8 things I have learned from selling on Etsy for 8 years. I cannot believe it's been that long. There are definitely more, but those are the ones that are the most important. So I hope that video was helpful to you. If you are someone who sells on Etsy, loves talking about Etsy, wants to sell on Etsy, I would absolutely love it if you hung out and subscribed here. That is what we talk about. We talk about all the small business things and everything I'm learning on Etsy. So if that's something that interests you, you, please do feel free to stick around. If you want to learn more about Etsy, there is a link in the description to my Etsy masterclass talking about how to make $1,000 on Etsy in 30 days. It is my 3-step framework and it is such a good resource. So make sure to check that out at the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching, guys. I hope that you guys decide to hang out with me here.